Hopefully that works for me. As I said, guys, I'll send this to you. I'll send the recording to you. So if you want to go back and have a look through it, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to wander while I speak. Eli's going to speak. We're going to do a few little activities today, all about helping you guys look at nutrition in a little bit of a different way. Me and Eli have both been trainers. How long have we been trainers for? 12 years. Both, so 24 years between us. We like to drink beers. We like to eat takeaway. We love to train. We do think you can do both. So we're going to try and help you guys understand how we do things a little bit more. We're not dietitians. We haven't been to university. So what we're going to do today is have a look at a few different things. As I said, yell out, call out. Let's rock and roll. Next slide. Guys, today we're going to go over what your current diet is. We're going to look up setting up your food and tracking your food intake through MyFitnessPal. It's a free app. It's a really, really detailed app that can be a little bit confusing at the start. So our job is to help you guys understand how to use that and what that looks like. We're going to talk about macros. What's that word mean? What does it look like? We're going to look at being in a calorie deficit, consuming less than what we need in a day, in a week, in a month. We're going to look at our daily energy breakdown, importance of our meal timing, low calorie, high protein. We're going to help you understand that. We're going to look at meal prep versus meal swaps, or what meal prepping is and what meal swapping is. Next slide. Oh, sorry.
Just on this, guys. Nutrition is something that's not in our scope of practice as personal training. We just have a good understanding of what the classifies up the general population that we do on a day-to-day basis. So what we're here to do is teach you guys more about nutrition, understand what it is to be able to, I guess, put yourself in a deficit, how to put yourself in a deficit for weight loss, how it is to maintain your weight, or how it is to be in surplus, and what different type of macronutrients you can be able to do to implement within your diet so it helps you cater for that as well. It's sort of like fast tracking and getting through, I guess, all the fluffy stuff. Any questions, you're not sure of anything at any stage, please ask us. We put a lot of thought and effort into this, so if we haven't executed on anything, please let us know. We want to be able to make sure that you guys can explain it. This is what we think when we do this. Give a man a fish or teach a man a fish. We can have a nutritionist come up here. Previously, we've been very good. We're in a position right now that we want to educate you guys. So we either have the tools for the MyFitnessPal, being able to start tracking your food. You get an understanding of what a portion size look like, what different types of foods are more dominant with each individual macro, how much actually calories are each individual food. And you guys can get a bit of an understanding of what that looks like. That could be no sugars in your coffee. That could be substituting particular carbohydrate with a different carbohydrate. That could be increasing your portion size of your protein. And then all of a sudden we might get 5% here, 5% here, 5% here. You're doing more of your training with your classes, with your trainers, with your steps, whatever it may be. And all of a sudden our health and fitness overall starts to improve a little bit more because we've got more knowledge and understanding of how to be able to do that. Everybody's lifestyle is different. So what might work for Stephen might be completely different for Holly. And you guys at least have the knowledge to understand how to implement that within your own lives. Does that make sense? All right, so anyway, sorry, moving on.
All right, beautiful, guys. So what we're going to start with today is the sheet in front of you. We're going to have a look at what you're currently doing and what that looks like. We'll leave that just for a second, just while I talk through this. Biggest thing that we want you to do now is be realistic with what you're eating. Having a think that, do I have a biscuit with my coffee? What am I eating at night time? Am I snacking later in the day? To try and really understand before we start this activity of what you are actually eating. Very easy to put down just your main meals and sort of skip those little things throughout the day. That Tim Tam that's sitting at work, those biscuits that are in the cupboard, as you go to the fridge and have a look around. So really trying to be realistic and understand what you do actually eat in a day, what you drink, alcohol, non-alcohol, and make sure we add this up. What do we eat in a day? Our breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea. We're in groups at the moment, so I'm getting you to have a look at that piece of paper in front of you, and we're going to go through at the top what we currently eat. We've got a, I'm just going to pick that up, sorry, hold. We've got a spot at the top for breakfast. Underneath that, our snacks, our lunch, our snacks, dinner, and then any notes down the bottom that you think might sort of need to be put in there. We're going to leave it just at that. So I'm going to give you 2 to 3 minutes of what you guys currently eat in the day. and we're going to look at what we can do immediately to help you guys change that, what we can identify, how we can help you swap that.
Once again, guys, we might have someone who's shift
Left-hander.
here, and you guys don't do some heavy breakfast, or vice versa, you might miss your dinners, whatever it may be. Being as honest and real as you can right now, because it puts us in a position where you've got a starting point that we can actually help you, or you can start to help yourselves more.
Some things up there, dietary likes or notes. My partner Elise, she's celiac, so my diet's even very different. I eat almost completely gluten-free, not by choice, but Elise is celiac and I don't cook. So everything that I eat is gluten-free. So for me, that might be a note there that I want to put down the bottom. Personally, I don't eat any red meat, not for animals. I'm just not a big fan of it. So again, that might be a note that does contribute to me not being able to get a high amount of protein.
Doesn't take too long to go, guys. I don't detail enough to really get an idea. But,
Give you another sort of 30, 40 seconds, guys. You might think of some more stuff while I'm speaking, guys. We're going to leave that. We won't go into our next column just yet. We'll come back to that just in a little bit. So keep jotting anything down that you need to at the moment. Feel free to pull your phones out during this next little part. We're just going to go over more of MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is something that I absolutely love to use. I don't use it so much anymore. As your knowledge increases, it's something that you can start to sort of pick up and go through your day to day. You'll start to pick up little tips and cues that you know what food sits where, how many grams of protein is in X, how many grams of fat is in X. We'll start to learn that a little bit more. It's an amazing tool. It can be a little bit daunting at the start. Our job now is to really try and help teach you guys how to use it, what it looks like, how beneficial it can be in your day-to-day life, but just trying to add that in so you know what it looks like and how it works. So if you've got your phone out, feel free to open stuff up and play along with me. We're going to look at MyFitnessPal.
just on this as well, guys. I know it can be quite annoying. It's like doing your homework every day. So if you get into a good routine and a good pattern of it, it's going to set you up for the next 6 weeks. It's set you up for all your life, to be honest with you. I remember when I used to do it, when I first started out in the fitness industry, I would track every meal. I'd make it a goal for myself for an X amount of time, and I had to do it every single day. It was annoying, it was tedious. After a while though, your recipes stay in there. I got my sort of go-tos, I'd punch it straight away in there. And it kept me so much more on track. Not only did it keep me more on track, it kept me on track for the next day as well, because I started to plan ahead what I want to be able to eat the next day. If you want to be able to implement it, or if you do implement this, I promise you're going to get better results. If not, you probably struggle a little bit more around that. Not saying you're not going to be as successful as what you could be, but it's going to make your job a little bit harder.
If you go to fill up your car and there's no numbers up on the screen, you don't know how many liters you're putting in, you're just holding it there for a while. It's sort of what we do with food for fueling our body. If I just stand, I don't know how many liters I'm putting in, how many dollars I'm putting in. For the next 3 or 4 days, I'm just sort of guessing. I might stop because I've got no fuel. I might be able to go for a week. I might be able to go for a day. But I look at fueling our body and really what that looks like. When you first sign up to MyFitnessPal, and some of you may have this, some of you may not, it's going to identify, it's going to go through age, weight, goals, height, male, female. It's going to help you do that along the way to set yourself up. And what we're going to come out with is a overall calorie goal, which is going to be your calorie goal for the day. As Eli said before, logging everything, setting reminders for yourself, adding your favorite recipes and foods, which we'll go over. We'll cover your macros and calories of what that looks like and how to do those. We've got our recipe book that you guys will get sent this afternoon that has I think it's 60 pages of recipes that all have the barcode on them that you can just scan and they go automatically into MyFitnessPal. Everything's broken down for you really, really simply. The number 7 on there, the apps and wearables. Eli doesn't have his on. Big one for us is watches or wearables, being able to track your steps. We'll go over this in a little bit more detail. I've already done just under 8,000 steps for this morning. It's 8 a.m. Having those goals in place, using MyFitnessPal and being able to track your progress and log what you're trying to do means that you're accountable towards your goals and there's specific targets that you're meeting. We're not just guessing. We're not just trying, throw things up in the air and hoping for the best. Eli?
No, exactly right.
So if you guys want to start on your phone, just having a look through MyFitnessPal, if you can start putting in your details while I'm talking, we'll go to the next slide. This is what MyFitnessPal looks like up on the screen. So as you sign up, it's going to ask you for your details I just mentioned, and we're going to get a goal of what our calories are for the day. This is going to be all individual. Male and female are going to be different. Me and Eli are going to be different. Age, weight, height, everything's going to be different. When you input your goals, it's going to spit it out. It's also going to ask for your activity level as well. You've got to be really realistic with what your activity level is. For our jobs, on my feet all day, every day, again, 8,000 steps before 8 a.m. I'll definitely hit sort of 20,000 steps today if things are going that way. Most people, if you sit at an office job, you're lucky to sort of get 6,000 a day, 5,000 a day even. If you drive to work, you're in a lift, then you sit down at your desk all day, you're really going to be limited at what you're doing.
Everyone, can I just make sure, in Australia they use kilojoules, traditionally we use calories. I just want to show you all, some of you might have kilojoules in there at the moment. I just want to show you how to go to calories just quickly. You go down to more at the bottom right hand corner, and then once you click on more, scroll all the way to the bottom, you see settings. You go into settings, you're going to go to profiles at the top. Come down to the second last one is the unit. I think you can count to the next going, 10 meters, 3 meters, and this is the calories.
No, perfect. I will plug my, we'll have a play around after. Me and Eli will have a play around with our phones after. I should be able to pull it up on the screen as well in a second. Can I just get a quick show of hands? Has anyone not used MyFitnessPal before? All right, beautiful. For those that have used MyFitnessPal, you know it can be a little bit tedious, as we mentioned. We're just looking at the top here at our screen of how to get into that. Did you just go over how to change the into calories? So what that's going to give you is your overall calorie breakdown. It's going to then put your macros, which we'll touch on, into its own category. We're going to change that just in a second. Our macros are going to be our carbohydrates, our fats, and our proteins. This is something we're going to go in a lot of detail today. We will show you how to change that because ideally we don't want to have different amounts, or as we can see here, our goal for the day. So if you can just have a look into your MyFitnessPal, I might just jump on yours. I'm going to go more at the bottom, just there, how to change their overall goal, but we'll go over that when we touch on that. More down the bottom. Then I'm going to go to goals with the target, which is about halfway down. And then I'm going to go to calorie and macro goals. We won't touch anything from there. We'll just leave that up there so we can start to play around with that in a second. Yep, calorie, carbs, protein, and fat goals. And then you'll have a percentage at the top. You'll have your calorie goal. For a lot of us, beautiful. Yep, perfect. So I know mine was about 2,600 when I was trying to cut weight. A sort of stay-at-home housewife is typically a 1,200 calorie day. That's extremely low. We're not trying to drop your calories. We don't want to put you in these 1,000 calorie diets. This is all going to be individualized as we go through, and we'll start to play around with this a little bit more. Alrighty, having a look at our overall day and our breakdown of the day. We've got a really good example over on the left-hand side. We've got a really nice split. When we say macros, macronutrients, we're not looking at anything else besides our carbohydrates, our fats, and our proteins. Just for the moment, we're going to push aside everything else. I don't care about sugar. I don't care about fiber. I don't care about anything else but our proteins, carbs, and fats. What this is going to allow us to do is track everything that we eat and put it into our calorie goals. These are what our body uses as its main sources of fuel. What we're able to do and see on this left-hand side has got a really clear breakdown of a nice even split of carbs, fats, and proteins, compared to our right-hand side where we've absolutely smashed our carbohydrates. I've got very, very minimal protein throughout my day and a very high amount of fat. What we're looking at here is being able to try and help you guys understand what our body needs in fuel, how we're able to track that throughout the day, and using MyFitnessPal to help create those routines and habits to get us into that. Macro breakdown: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. As I just mentioned, I'll say it again, nothing else matters. Don't care about sugar, don't care about fiber. Nothing else matters when we're going to look at what we're trying to fuel our body with. Everyone heard the word macronutrients before? Macro, beautiful. Beautiful.
If we were trying to explain it in detail again, if you're still not sure of it all, let us know.
Protein is definitely the most important of these three, probably in both of our opinions. It's not only going to help you focus on your weight loss. The more muscle you carry, the more calories you're going to burn. It's going to help you recover faster, repair your muscles faster. It's going to help you feel fuller for longer, and it's going to allow you guys to be able to progress by gaining muscle, recovering faster. Calorie intake. When we're not eating as much, we're able to fuel our body a lot more. We're not looking for those sweets. We're not looking for those snacks. We're not looking at those extra little meals throughout the day. Anything on protein?
No. The biggest thing as humans is it's really easy to have in today's day and age. A lot of preserved foods, food on the go, it's going to be carbohydrates and fats. Generally, it's going to be protein going to come from the meats. So you have to take time to be able to cook something or prepare something on the go throughout the day. It's a little bit harder, a little bit more time consuming. It's going to be far more beneficial.
Second one, carbohydrates. This is the majority of our food. Carbohydrates are our primary macronutrients that we utilize for our energy intake. In a weight loss phase, carbohydrates often is lessened, and we will be lessening our carbohydrates. The goal is to use your body's store fat as opposed to the carbs that we're consuming. So looking to rather use what we currently have rather than to eat what we are looking to or trying to achieve. With that, guys, carbohydrates are in absolutely everything. We're not trying to avoid it. We're not trying to cut it out. That's not what we're saying. It's very prominent. We're looking to more swap towards a more higher protein diet. That's not going to be forever. That's not every day. But overall, we are looking to consume a higher protein diet rather than filling our body up with carbohydrates. Last one's fats. Super important. Again, it is the highest amount of, has the highest amount of calories out of our three macronutrients. This one does carry 9 calories per gram compared to our carbs and our protein, which only carries 4 calories per gram. I'm just going to repeat that. So if I have 1 gram of fat, that's 9 calories. If I have 1 gram of carbs, that's 4 calories. If I have 1 gram of protein, that's 4 calories. I'm not amazing at maths by any means, but we can start to add that up in our head even by looking at something. I know that in 100 grams, or Eli knows, sorry, in 100 grams of chicken is how many grams of protein, roughly?
27.
And steak?
28, 30.
Fish?
18 to 22.
So being able to go how many grams of protein, even if you need a calculator, 28 grams of protein times 4, that's how many calories are in that piece of fish. Yes, there's carbs in it. Yes, there's fat in it. There's other things in it too. But over time, just being able to have those in the back of your mind. So in my mind, 449 is very easy to remember. Protein, carbs, and fat. There's nothing else I really need to, there's nothing else you guys really need to focus on too much outside of those protein, carbs, and fat. I know I've repeated that a few times. They are the most important. They take up the majority of most foods. You're not going to have a food that's got 40 grams of fiber and only 2 grams of protein or 1 gram of carbs. It doesn't really exist. What we're trying to focus on is those main food groups. Sorry, can you just go back one? As we just said, guys, 4, 4, 9, super easy to remember. Just visually, it's probably good to check that.
Without being too confusing, you could also, weight loss is calories in, calories out. So we could reduce our calories to be in a deficit and we're going to lose weight, okay? However, as we spoke about before, it's very convenient to be going, I'm going to have carbohydrates and a little bit of fat, but it's hard for me to get protein. You get to a certain stage where your recovery is not as good, you're not building as much muscle mass, and all this work in the gym, but you're not complementing the work outside of that by not being able to implement as much protein. All right, so just a reminder on that. I don't think you can try and cheat in regards to reducing the calorie intake by not implementing more protein.
Do you want to go over meal timing?
You keep going.
Yep. All right, guys. Meal timing here is again talking about filling that car or filling your body, of making sure that we've got constant energy coming into our body at all times. For me myself, I haven't eaten this morning. For you guys have just done a big session, so we're again all on different stages or different levels. So we're looking to consume roughly of 4 to 6 meals a day, which will be broken down into our 3 main meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner, followed up with our 2 snacks, give or take, throughout the day. Again, someone that's working in the office sitting down all day does not need to consume anywhere near as amount of something that's labouring all day in the sun, moving bricks up and down stairs. So we're looking at what we do for ourselves, how we can time our meals throughout the day, how are we prepping those meals? Are we planning? Are we rocking up and just walking to the fridge, walking to the servo? What are we looking to do throughout our day of planning to be able to get to that stage? So if we're aiming for 2,000 calories a day, we're able to break that down super simple maths to 400 to 500 calories per main meal. And that just allows that little bit of room for snacks throughout the day to be able to fuel the body consistently throughout the day. It's also going to depend on what you guys can and can't eat. Not all of us can just go eat whenever we want. We might be working for 4 hours and we might have a 4-hour break, a 1-hour break, half an hour. So it's being prepared and having an understanding of, yes, I need to time this to, one, fuel my body, fuel my training, fuel my recovery, and make sure that I'm hitting those goals of not finishing work and being like, I'm going to go for a beer, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go get KFC on the way home because I haven't allowed myself that timing or that meal preparation phase.
And just on that as well, guys, we want to try and create as much consistency and routine in our day-to-day living, right? And that becomes more measurable for us. If our variable is I've missed breakfast one day, I'm eating breakfast at lunchtime this day, I ate really early this day, I've missed lunch this type day. Every day is different. So it's really hard to get a gauge to be able to measure that by not having that consistency in your day-to-day life. Does that make sense, everybody? So trying to have those daily routines and knowing what you're eating at those particular times is going to go a long way. You know, to create those routines for yourself and that understanding.
Meal timing, pretty much what we just said, of making sure we've got a really good source of protein. Protein is going to make us fuller for longer. It's going to help us recover. It's going to be allowing us to, maintain that muscle process of gaining more muscle to burn more calories. We're able to include a really good source of protein with each and every meal, and probably breakfast is going to be one of the harder ones to look to get that source of protein in. It is going to help us perform better, recover better. Pardon me. We're going to look to do that through grains, meats, eggs, supplements, protein powder, whatever that might be. We all might have, as I said, different tastes, different likes, different allergies. So trying to find that really good source of protein in the morning, at lunchtime, in the evening, with every single meal. That is going to really put you guys on an edge. It's going to keep you guys fuller and really put you in advantage, I guess, of losing good weight and being able to put on some good muscle. Our bodies do need energy. We can't just not eat for 6 weeks. It's not going to work. I can't do that. I promise you, you're just going to binge on the weekend. You might be able to go 3 days, might be able to go 4 days, but we're just going to end up back where we started, and probably even worse, probably above that as well. So our bodies do need energy to keep us alive, our organs functioning. When we do consume food and drink, we do put energies into our body. Everyday movement through breathing, exercise, sitting and sleeping, that's what we do need that for. I'm going to go through how our bodies break that down in a second and look at how our bodies break that down, what that looks like, how it works, and be able to maintain stable weight and the energy we put into our bodies. All right, what we're going to look at, and Eli said before, is a calorie deficit. And it's probably one of the most important things we speak about today. So our energy input to energy expenditure. So if I eat 2,000 calories and I burn 2,000 calories, I'm not going to lose weight. I'm not going to gain weight. I'm going to stay exactly the same. If my energy input is bigger than my energy expenditure, we're going to put on weight. Probably not 98% of the 98% of the time, in my opinion. Yes, there can be thyroid problems, there can be medical issues, there might be a lot of different things, but 98% of the time, it's purely that you are eating more than you are putting out if you are not losing weight. There's definitely other scenarios. I'm not going to say there's not. 98% of the time, in my opinion. If you are eating more than you are putting out, you're going to gain weight. End of story. More calories in, calories out. There's no other way to explain that.
And it sucks, guys. I've worked with that many people myself before, and I know that the person that I'm working with as a client is making a very conscious effort to try and eat healthier and make those changes. And they jump on the scale for several weeks and not actually losing weight. I've unfortunately had that tough conversation with them to say, look, you're actually not in a deficit. And so they are trying to do things and implement things, but realistically, if you jump on the scales and we're not getting that change, chances are there's not enough of a deficit that's happening. That could be come from lack of exertion, just in their daily activity, lack of exertion in training, or just the food consumption is a little bit higher.
I had a lot of people that don't fully understand, and that's what we got you write this down of what you do actually eat in a day. It's very easy that a lot of us, most of us would have jobs, go to the office, go to work, whatever it might be. There's some chocolates on the desk. You might just be having one chocolate. One chocolate, how many calories in a Freddo Frog?
A block of chocolate's going to have over 700 calories.
So guaranteed no one's there sitting having one roll of chocolate. I had a whole block of chocolate last night. I absolutely love chocolate. Love chocolate. They're easily multiple times. Could do another block too. He could do worse than me. But in saying that, none of us are there having one roll of chocolate, going to bed. You're lying. You're eating the block, half the block at least. If we're eating half the block, we're eating that amount of calories that we're pretending we almost didn't eat. Our day might be pretty good, and then we go at night time and do that. We might think we have one glass of wine at night or one beer at night. That wine gets topped up a little bit. That wine gets topped up a little bit. You go for the second beer. You have that one rose turns into two rows. All of a sudden, we're eating 600, 700, 800 calories more than what we thought we actually eating in our head. And it's very easy to do that. Even if we're eating 500 extra, we add that up over 7 days. We add that up over a week, over a month, over 6 weeks. It's really being conscious of what you're eating and having that MyFitnessPal and going, holy shit, I've just had a Freddo Frog and that's 60 calories. Add that up every single day. You do that every day for a week, for a month. We're definitely going to be over our calorie target, and it just adds up over time. Some of you have kids. You might be walking past. They've got X on the plate. Bang, have that. They're having a juice box. They pass you the juice box. You have a sip. You keep walking. It might be so unconscious or subconscious that you don't realize what you're doing. But we put ourselves in that routine. But we're constantly doing it to ourselves every single day that we just can't get ahead of ourselves. Last one, sorry.
And just with that, you might there's 5% there, and then another 5% there, and then another 5%. There's 15%. And we're not. At the end of the day, life is life. We are going to indulge at certain occasions or have a little snack here. Don't beat yourself up over that. It's about being more aware of it and being more conscious of it. I'll give you a good example. We have members that will bring in cakes and stuff for us, and they'll sit at the back. Just might be excess from a party, something like that. There. I know for a fact if I walk past that and I have that just before breakfast, and then I have some a little bit mid-morning, and I might have some afternoon tea. I've already had 500-600 calories more than I needed to for the day. It's so easy to fall into. Someone brings a cake in for work. I'll have a slice of cake. I don't want to be rude. Have a slice of cake, and someone else brings someone into the back end of the week, and I've had 2 slices of cake. And don't get me wrong. You don't want to alienate yourself from being able to have a good time, but at the same time, once again, being aware of it.
Coffee. You know how many calories in a coffee?
Small one, 98, just under 100 calories.
So 100 calories in a coffee. I have a little bit of honey in my coffee. Merle's makes coffee all day, every day, and he'll just start making one. So I've had one coffee. Let's say Monday morning I have one coffee. A little bit later I have a second coffee. A little bit later I've had a third coffee. They're just getting made for me. I'm working. I'm not concentrating. There's 300 calories. I haven't had breakfast. It's at 300 calories. So I could have easily gone and put that in through protein. I could have gone and had bacon and eggs, no bun. I could have easily had that, consumed that 300 calories and got a lot better protein source, a lot better fat source, and set my day up a lot better instead of just had 3 coffees. I'm sure you guys all drink more than 1 coffee. Someone from the office, let's go get coffee. You go get 2 coffees, you get 3 coffees. This is the one we're after. Energy input, energy expenditure. So if we're able to expend more energy than we're consuming, we are going to lose weight. Unless there is a medical condition, you are going to lose weight every single day of the week. It's trying to balance that. It's trying to learn what your body needs. We're not just going to cut all calories, all carbs. We're not just going to drop everything. It's trying to do that on a nice, even, steady slope. So you, one, are fueling your body. You're recovering well. You're still sleeping well. Not hungry. I don't want you guys hungry all day, every day. That's not the point of this. It's trying to balance this out and see how we can utilize. We've got a few good things to show you after, what we can swap, how we can plan better, how we can look ahead, our meal planning, our meal swapping, and trying to identify where you're going wrong currently and how we can do better.
I'll just quickly summarize something, guys. 7,700 calories is equivalent to 1 kilo body fat. So an ideal scenario, if you want to lose a kilo a week, you need to be close to 500 calories daily. If you average that up, what are we looking at there? So it's only half the 1,000 calories, just shy of 1,000 calories daily to be able to lose a kilo a week. That sounds like a lot to be in a deficit. I don't know where your diet is at the moment. I don't know how much you're exerting on a daily basis, but if you want to average a kilo a week, you need to be averaging at least 1,000 calories daily. So that's to be able to transpire to 1 kilo of body fat. Something to think about. And 1,000 calories shouldn't be in a position that you're starving, but you will be in a position that you know that you could eat more if you needed to. All right? We have to understand and recognize what that feels like within our body to be hungry or to be starving, or just to be just slightly under your food consumption.
Calories deficit in food,
So
or 1,000 calories exertion.
Deficit. So 7,700 calories equates to 1 kilo of body fat.
So if you break that down weekly,
That might mean you're more of a deficit from Monday to Fridays because you might have something on the weekend. I'm not sure, but just to give you an understanding of what equates to 1 kilo of body fat.
I'm going to just somewhere on the page, just off to the side. These are the four ways that we can expand energy or lose calories, but expanding energy. I want you guys just to have a think in your own head and rate these 1 to 4 of the highest amount that you believe we would be burning the most amount of calories. So basal metabolic rate, BMR, that's the calories burned by doing nothing. If for the rest of the day you guys watch me, lay down on the ground and do nothing but breathe, how many calories do you think that would be? Number 1 of the list, number 2 on the list, do you think that would be quite high calorie consumption? I guess my body can just function by itself. I'm not probably going to burn too many calories. That's one way we can burn. 2 that you all just did, physically exerting yourself to burn calories. So putting ourselves through exercise, strenuous, non-strenuous, going for a walk, going for a run, training at the gym. That's the second way we can burn calories. Is that going to be your highest, lowest? How many calories will we sort of burn? Number 3, NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Calories burned during non-exercise activities. We're all standing at the gym. You guys walked over here. You went down 2 or 3 flights of stairs, up 1 flight of stairs. That's NEAT. That's that's our NEAT. That's our non-thermal. That's our non-exercise calories throughout the day. Where would that sit on your list? Last one, our TEF. Few acronyms, few little things to remember here. That's our calories burned by digesting food. So we eat food. Our body has to do something to digest that and turn that through our body. We're either going to take nutrients from that or we're not. 4 different main ways that we can burn our calories. Anyone want to have a guess at what's number 1 on those lists before we go to the next?
What's going to naturally burn more calories in the daytime?
If I had to put those in a diagram, would our thermic effect of food, would that take up 10%, 30%, 50%? Our physical activity, will that take up 50% of our daily calories? We do those things every single day. I burn our most calories throughout the day. So if I, number 3. Beautiful. Next slide. Go back one. There should be another slide. No? After these. Actually, a question to I've summarized everything there. Let's go over that really, really quickly. Bang. 70% of our daily calorie intakes, we're looking daily, daily, exertion is our base metabolic rate. Me laying on the ground doing nothing, absolutely nothing. The high amount of muscle mass we carry is going to affect that. The high amount of fat we carry is going to affect that. Everyone's going to have a different base metabolic rate. We're all different ages, different sexes, but 70%, give or take, is where we burn the most amount of calories in our day. So you thinking throughout the day, can we go back to BMR just so we can have a really good look at that? First, to how much energy our body burns each day. What is required as a bare minimum function? Keep your organs alive, keep you alive. BMR takes approximately accounts for 60 to 70% of your daily calorie burn behind the scenes. So us slogging ourselves in the gym every single day, and then it's going sitting on our asses and doing nothing, it says it only takes up 10%, we're probably focusing on the wrong thing. Do you want to touch on this at all? So guys, we look here, 70%. I need you guys to be able to understand that it's not just slogging yourself at the gym. It's not just you thinking that you're going to eat a lot of food, it's going to digest, and that's where you're going to burn calories. It does come as a shock when you look at that. You think the more I exercise, the more calories I'm going to burn, the better I'm going to be. That's only taking up sort of 10% of what my day is roughly. And when you think about it, we've all done a workout. That was 45 minutes. We're probably not going to train again for the rest of the day. How else are we going to burn those calories, and what else is going to take? Our NEAT, our non-exercise, go back for me. One more. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, incidental movement, absolutely massive. I keep mentioning it. If you sit at a desk all day, that's almost going to be 0 to nil. We're not going upstairs. We're probably getting a lift. We're driving to work. We're parking, sitting in our desk all day, hopping in our car, driving back home, sitting on our asses, watching TV, going to bed. NEAT is the second that counts. So our base metabolic rate, then our non-exercise activity. Really trying to make sure that we are looking for those extra opportunities of how can I walk a little bit more? How can I take the stairs a little bit more? Can I park a little bit further away? Can I take the stairs every day? Do I set a reminder on my phone to get up out of my desk every 45 minutes and walk an extra meter, 10 meters, 20 meters? Can I go to the next coffee shop? How can I avoid any opportunity to take the escalator? Those opportunities there are going to be a massive benefit, especially during the challenge for you guys. A lot of people, and as I mentioned it before, have that step goal. A big thing in the fitness world at the moment is 10,000 steps. I don't know why. It's a pretty clean number. It is a decently high number. 10,000 steps is okay. Average, even including low days, I'm probably doing 15,000 on a working day, probably a bit more, maybe 16,000. What are you roughly doing?
Yeah, about it. And we're fortunate. We're on our feet all day. If you're in an office and you're sitting down, you don't have that luxury. So being able to be aware of how much that measuring tool on our phones or on our wrist is an indication of actually how active we have been. It's tracking our steps, and it does suck. It's such a measuring tool for everyone right now, but it's probably the best way to indicate how active you have been in your day. I can give you numerous people that might get up and to go to work each day. I'll give you the example. Pre-COVID, I had a pretty good gauge of how much my clients were active in their day for their steps. COVID came along, nothing changes in their life. From what time they started work, but they didn't get up as early. They had to walk to the shower, and then walk to their bedroom to get dressed, and then they walked into their lounge room to work. So straight away, they didn't have to get up as early. They didn't have to walk. Didn't have to walk to their car. Didn't have to drive their car, park in the office, walk into the office, walk around in the office, do daily activity, and straight away, because of that, their daily calorie expenditure was automatically less. So something I had to implement for them was I need to be able to start adding steps into a day. So during that period of time, everyone was at COVID. When everyone was inside, it had to be something where they actually had to take some time out of their day to be able to do something to be able to put themselves back in that deficit or in that maintenance stage. That's sort of a bit of an understanding of yourself.
I think Eli's on charge, but Eli got me mine we got the same watch, bought me mine, I think it was for my birthday or Christmas, and then Eli left, and I turned to Elise and I was like, I don't like things touching me. Well, not too bad now. I was like, what am I going to do? I absolutely love this. I look at my steps every single day, records everything. I absolutely love it. For me to go, like, I'm at 8,500 coming on now. Like, how do I get to 20? Stuff 10. How do I get to 20? What's that next goal? How do I look at it? In my opinion, everyone just wants to be lazy, and that's very normal. We look for the escalator. We look for the lift. We're not like, yes, I'm going to take the stairs, or yes, I'm going to walk the long way. I'm going to park at the bottom of the hill and then walk to work. I'm going to park at the bottom, then walk the kids up school, park at the bottom of the Prake and walk up to St. Margaret's. Like, it's not what you want to do, but how do we include those things throughout the day to make sure that we're able to hit those goals long term? 10,000 steps one day, but if we take that up 10,000 steps to 11,000 steps each day, over 7 days, I've done 7,000 extra steps throughout my day, plus those other 5% of making sure that I am doing my swaps. I'm having less fats, more protein. I've changed those things. They're the things that Eli said. We're looking for 5% every single day to make ourselves better. Beautiful. Next one. Alrighty, having a look at a nutrition label can be quite scary. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you first look at it. What did I mention earlier before? Do we care about calcium? Do we care about sodium? I only care about our protein, our carbs, and our fats. When we do this, I want you to ignore per 250 ml, per serving. The only column we need to look at is our per 100 ml. Everything's per 100 ml, per 100 gram. Every single label has that. It's the easiest thing to go to. It's always the furthest on the right. The only things that I need to go is go for my, this is milk, full cream milk. I've got my ingredients. 1 gram of protein has how many calories? 4 times 3. That's how many calories I'm getting from my protein. All right, protein 3.3 grams. My fat 3.4 grams. My carbohydrates 4.8 grams.
Just on that, if you guys are here milk as a macronutrient, what would you summarize it mostly as? What macro? Fat or protein, if you look there right now, a bit higher in carbohydrates. So straight away, there's an educational thing for you right there, just by being able to check that. Instantly. I was like, okay, I want to go, what's the milk that's going to have more of what I need? Straight away, you can start to have a look at that. Oh, I can now compare this milk to that. This particular brand of milk that might be full cream might have more protein than this brand. Less carbohydrates. And you start to pick what you need that's going to be able to suit you for your goals and your lifestyle. But by not having that knowledge and not having that understanding, you're just going to pick up what's going to be cheapest or might be the others. Or your favourite. I don't know.
I doubt us as adults are all having glasses of milk every single day. So in our coffee, when you go to the barista and you get a coffee, there's probably your double shot. I don't think many of us are drinking small. I don't drink a small. Am I drinking 200 mils of milk? Am I drinking 100 mils of milk? Is it 400 mils of milk? Is it 1 coffee a day, 6 coffees a day? Am I having cereal with 300 mils of milk and then cereal over the top of that?
Sugar on my coffees? Sugar on my cereal?
So
honey with my coffees?
that's talking per 100 mil. So we're trying to look that we're not having 100 mils of milk a day. Are we drinking full cream milk? Are we drinking almond milk? Are we drinking the 743 different milks that are out there? There's nothing wrong with that, but every milk is going to be slightly different. And the activity we're going to do here is how we can still maintain our regular normal lifestyle, but just swapping different things in and out to show you that we can do it very, very simply. And if we just swap a few things, plan ahead and start tracking a few little things, promise you the weight comes off. Anything you want to go over that?
No, just the other thing is, guys, is you'll learn this more and more. Knowing what type of food is going to be, if you were to say that it's more dominant in certain macronutrients, you don't understand straight away picking up like I'm in the bread aisle. I know that's more carbohydrates. Okay, what's going to have the least amount of carbohydrates that I need, or the least amount of calories that I need? But and in regards to the macronutrients before, I'll have a specific numbers. The more that you can educate yourself around it, you can already pre-plan your meals in your head before you've even had to go into MyFitnessPal, because you understand what a macronutrient is and what you need in your particular meal that's going to cater for you in your goals. Does that make sense?
Just before he hits next, in Australia we do use kilojoule. I don't like it. I know Eli doesn't like it. It's what our government's decided to do. They put it on everything. It is. I actually thought it was 4.2, 4.3. Just divide it by 4. So 1 calorie is 4 kilojoules. A lot of the time, I remember sushi. It said something like 4,000 kilojoules. You can be like, all right, divide that. You've got your number, give or take. Meal planning, meal prepping. We're going to have a look at both. Different things work for different people.
Do you want to do now the media
Yes,
changes?
actually, I was going to do that after. Yep, perfect. Guys, you are in little groups here, so feel free to work together. Let's flip that page over so we can have a look at what the immediate changes that you would be.
Just from there, from what you've heard, the content, where's some immediate changes you can make in your daily eating that can cater potentially to your goals? Where's an improvement you could instantly change?
Run through your day. You wake up in the morning, you hop out of bed. Do we go straight to the gym? Do we go straight to work? Do we run the kids to school?
Cereal before, and I like having an omelette, so I might have an omelette. With my lunch, a pasta or a rice, could I now take a tuna salad? With my dinner, eggs that was more dominant in carbohydrates and fats, can I now implement a piece of meat?
For 1 coffee a day instead of 2.
Doesn't have to be perfect, it's all a work in progress.
I won't give it up. Can I have a look at the beer or wine that I drink? Can I not take that away? It might just be looking at, I'm going to find a lower calorie wine, a lower calorie beer. Can I go to vodka? Instead of having 3 wines at night, can I have 2 vodkas? Not 3 bottles.
Oh.
Isn't there one in your bag? That's what's in here. Bit of vodka in my water bottle. There might be a co-worker, a friend, a family member that you know that you like to, whatever, you might go for sushi every Friday with them. You might go for drinks after work every Friday. Is it, how do I limit myself? Can I talk to the bartender? Can I get a water? I'm going to pretend I'm drinking vodka sodas. They just give me a soda water. I might have 2 vodkas, 2 waters, bang, drive home. I then haven't had 8 drinks over 3 or 4 hours, got takeaway on the way home, then picked up takeaway for the family, ate that, watched TV, had dessert, laid down. I've been able to control my day, being able to make sure that I'm planning ahead and looking at what have I got coming up and how can I overcome that, or how can I better plan and prepare for that. Any big key things that stuck out for you guys? You're like, shit, what was I doing there? Or how can I improve that? Or this is how I can improve that? I'm going to throw it at you, Jeffrey. I'm really sorry. I know. So Jeff for work has a boozy lunch every day. That's not by choice.
No, it is by choice.
It is by choice. So
Slight exaggeration.
no. So Jeff's industry and how his industry works is he'll have clients honestly offer to take him out almost every day for lunch, probably beers for breakfast, but it's put on. It's a client lunch, so someone else is paying. If you're doing deals worth X amount of money, you're going to go to the meeting. You're going to show up. You're probably going to have a beer or 2. What's something that you can feel like you can change with that? Because that is your job. It's your job.
Soda water, but yeah, probably just reducing the amount, I suppose. At the moment, I'm not drinking the immediate.
And it's part of your job. Like you honestly have to have beers. I completely get that because
Yeah.
it
Like
that makes a sale and that builds a relationship.
You get a drink, I suppose. Swap it out.
Anyone else? Sorry, Jeffrey.
I noticed that I barely have any fat in general, so I reckon I could add avocados to my stuff in my road having, and I take wraps to work, so whatever leftover avocado, I can chuck on wraps that I just chuck it.
Right. Beautiful.
Yeah, so add more fat.
Anyone?
Another one's guys could be your portion sizes. It could be you've had a heavier, more dense carbohydrate meal, you have got some form of protein in there, but it might be reducing the protein, the carbohydrate intake and trying to increase the protein intake. Just the makeup, what's in the meal is good, but being able to just change, I guess, the portion size for certain macros.
Anyone an energy drink person? No, beautiful. That's an easy drop.
What about legumes and like dal and that sort of thing? Kind of
A good source of protein. It's carbohydrates as well. It's not a direct protein, but it is a protein source. So that you could be putting that in your salads. Let's say you're not a big meat eater, but you can put that in your salads definitely. Other types of meals as well, but definitely add that as won't go into too much, but there's different types of proteins. That's a whole other ball game, so we won't confuse with that as well. But depending on what your dietary needs are,
I do eat a little bit more. I'm not a big meat eater just in general of much meat. So it might be I'll have a little bit of chicken. I'm just not a fan of it. So a little bit of chicken and then add those legumes in just to help boost that protein. Yes, it is carbohydrates as well. So you are getting that fuel there too. Probably the biggest thing that I find with them is just they're quite easy to eat and they come in a can. It's easy to just dump the whole thing. Just probably measuring out how much you are consuming or how much you are eating.
All right, guys, that's done there. Next one.
Beautiful. Meal planning requires you to have planned meals for each week or each day, each meal, each snack, each throughout the day. Necessary ingredients and groceries to make these meals. This could be for you having a calendar in your kitchen, having something in your phone. I know I'm happy to eat the same thing every single day for the rest of my life. Couldn't care less. Other people want variety. They want change. They want different meals each and every day. There's nothing wrong with that. If we're getting home from work every day and going, what's in the fridge? We're very unlikely to be consuming the right amount of calories, the right amount of protein, and filling our bodies how we need. We're playing guessing games there rather than planning ahead and knowing Monday I'm having salmon with homemade chips and a salad. I can have that planned. I do my prep on, I do my shopping on a Sunday, so I'm able to cook that meal when I get home. Open to being flexible, utilizing all your groceries and items so you're not going to go to waste. It's going to save you money as well, and it's going to save you time.
That could be simple. All right, what's a 800-calorie meal that I can make? I'm going to go now into my fitness house. I want something more chicken or currently more beef. Okay, what's a good source of carbohydrates? Okay, sweet potatoes. What's some vegetables that I can have with it? Tons of vegetables in there. You can get an understanding of what portion sizes and what ingredients are needed for you to make your 800-gram meal just by going straight onto my fitness pal. You can then work backwards from there. Go to the shop, buy what you need, make it up, and you know exactly what's in that meal. Right?
Time to ask about your 4 to 6 meals a day. Like, what do they look like? If that's something you're covering off.
We did it before, but what would you like to know?
Oh, and I can catch up. No, 4 to 6 meals a day is what you said earlier.
Yep.
Outside breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Snacking between.
Yes, the snacks in between. Let's say most people have their breakfast and they're going to have a lunch break and they're going to have their dinner. You will get hungry in between. If you do get hungry in between, it's probably going to be a snack. If you've got the luxury to take time out of the day, sit down and have another meal, by all means. But usually we find that it is snacks. Most people just be on the go.
That would be me identifying sort of, I know that for dinner, it might be kids, they want a little bit more carby dinner. I need to know for my snack now, what if I can have, like my banana, I know banana's it's actually quite high in carbs. So can I swap that and have some watermelon instead? So my watermelon might be my snack. I'm not getting enough protein there. All right. Can I have some watermelon and some beef jerky, for example? Or can I try and find something where I might take little fried bits of chicken? I might just be eating some chicken on the side. That's where my calories, so that's where my protein's coming from. Have my watermelon, a little bit of carbs there. That's going to push me throughout the day. And knowing that dinner is where I'm going to get all my protein from. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the perfect meal. It might just be that little filler snack, because when you get to dinner, you're going to have this big protein hit, or that's where you're going to get most of your protein from.
Yep, that makes sense.
Meal planning is following a guide day to day. That's having it written out every day, every time. This is what I have at breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner. It does allow you to look ahead a little bit more. It is probably a little bit easier, but does require a lot more. Can't be on the fly as much. If you've got families, it's a little bit harder too. Meal prepping is usually consistent of consumption of 1 to 2 meals. This is what's really good about our recipe book. So it might be having like a nice healthy lasagna, swapping some things out, making a good lasagna. You have that for dinner, having that for lunch does make life a little bit easier. Better for bigger families. Lunch and dinner works really, really well together. Why meal plan or meal planning of meal prepping? Measurable outcomes for your goals. It simplifies your week, takes away cravings from food that aren't in the diet, purely because we won't have them in the house. Creates accountability, routine, convenience, saves money and time, reduces food waste, does really promote portion control. Again, you're buying specifically what you need for each meal rather than just buying a whole bunch of stuff and trying to create on the fly. Prepare to plan, prepare to fail. You're preparing, planning to fail.
And just, it might be really hard for somebody to go away straight away and implement planning for 5 days or 7 days of meals, right? If you haven't gone to that, haven't done that before. So your goal might be, I'm going to pre-plan all my lunches for the week. Right, this week I nailed that. Right, this week I'm going to plan all of my snacks for morning tea and afternoon tea. Right, I've nailed that. All right, I'm going to now pick it up again. I'm going to plan all of my meals from Monday through to Wednesday. So you've got really good structure for all your lunches, all of your snacks, and then you know the midweek point you've got to plan your meals for your Wednesday. And it's a process. So this is the hardest part that I see in the fitness industry. I'm going to meal plan, and I'll get to Wednesday and there's all this food in there that I don't want to have eaten. And it's something that does happen. So look at it as a bit of something that's got to be progressive for yourself. It's not an overnight and immediately implemented, because it is quite hard to be able to do that and sustain that. Does that make sense? Don't beat yourself up if you're not doing it straight away. This is a process over immediate time, over time, to be able to make those changes in your lifestyle that suits your needs. And it might mean that you really struggle doing meal prepping. I know for myself firsthand, if I plan my meals up until Wednesday, I'm not lying on this, I'll go to Coles almost every single day. I don't know what I want to eat for dinner until I'm in that day. I mean, that's just what I know. However, people do their one shop a week and they know what they're going to eat on this particular day, and they'll go through that process, right? But just a bit of understanding, it's something that's implemented over a period of time. It's not from here to here straight overnight.
Just jumping on top of what Eli said, you might get all your lunches, prep all your lunches. That's your goal for this week. Then it goes to dinner. I might also add in, I'm getting 4,000 steps a day with my job where I'm sitting down. I'm moving to 6,000 steps today. 6,000 steps for the rest of the week. My lunches are all done. That means I've got leftovers my dinners are all done. I've got leftovers for lunch. I'm getting extra steps. That's my goal for this week. Next week, everything moves up a little bit more. Next week, everything moves up a little bit more. Nothing's going to be perfect. Some of you guys will hit this. Some of you guys take a week, a month. First time I used MyFitnessPal, I used it for a week, hated it, didn't use it again. After that, I used it for a year straight, hit 365 days straight, every meal logged. Just took time to get around, used to it, playing around with it, getting it inside your routine and schedule. As we said, we went over this sort of a little bit before. We can break down each meal roughly, looking at like a 400 calorie per meal. It allows us to understand if I'm having 4 meals a day, 4 times 4, then I can be able to calculate my snacks in there as well. What's my energy expenditure on that? Am I training every day? Do I eat less when I train? Do I eat more when I train? How does my body feel? How does my body react? Am I having enough protein in there to be able to recover, to be able to sleep well, and be able to do that again the next day? Or am I just going to burn myself out by trying to starve myself and not put myself in a really good position? Bottom, easiest meals to prep are definitely lunch and dinner. I agree with that. Breakfast I probably find the hardest. Having a really big dinner allows you to have that lunch set up for the next day. It does allow you to put yourself in a good position, but it is planning ahead. We can't just get home and not have those ingredients there. It is going to be making sure that we do have everything in the fridge we need to be able to look ahead for the next day, start of the week, end of the week. Where does that fit? These are just some quick tips, lunch ideas, and then we'll give you even more. We've got quite a few things in the Coles bag that we really want to go over you guys with. I will send you this, guys, so you guys can have a look at it, but just some really good, quick lunch ideas. Something I eat pretty much every day. I eat a low-carb wrap every single day. We'll touch on that a little bit more. We've got some wraps in there and the difference between what a normal wrap has and what a low-carb wrap has. I know I can eat, of the brand that I like, I can eat 3 low-carb wraps. That will equal the same amount of carbs. It's a tiny bit more than a normal wrap. So one wrap, for one of them that I like, I know it has, I think it's 28 grams of carbs per one wrap. I know the other ones, I can eat, they're they're 11, so it's just over. I can eat 3 of those. It gets me just over that. So I'm fuller for longer. I've had more food and the exact same amount of carbs, and I haven't changed anything. Having 3 wraps, I can also get more protein in. I can put more chicken, fish, whatever it is on those wraps. I get more salad. I can get more veggies in there. And that's probably the easiest thing for me that I like to swap.
And if you notice here, guys, the meal prep, what is the carbohydrate that I'm consuming? Is it a good carbohydrate? Is it a bad carbohydrate? What protein source am I consuming? And how much protein am I doing? And where are my fats coming from? So you could have lamb, for instance, good protein, extremely high in fat. Okay, immediately the substitute could be my chicken, could be my fish, it could be my beef. Is my carbohydrates going to be something that's deep fried and full of fat, or is it something that's going to be low GI, good carbohydrates, it's going to go to fuel me for longer? Does that make sense? I've actually literally planned my meal with protein, carb, and fat, and where's it coming from, and how much.
Going for dinner, batch bake, make it nice and easy so you're not spending a heap of time in the kitchen. Again, each section here, I've got it in the bag and we'll touch on it. Cauliflower rice mix. We at home will do majority cauliflower rice, so like let's say 80% cauliflower rice, 20% normal rice. It does still feel like you're getting normal rice. You can't really taste it. The calorie difference is out of this world when you go to cauliflower rice to a normal rice. Same thing as I mentioned for the wrap. I haven't missed out. I'm not changing too much. I'm still getting rice, still getting carbs, but what I've done is just made a swap.
And this is where it starts coming, it doesn't taste as good. And if we're sitting here wanting to make everything taste good, unfortunately, we're probably not going to be in a position to do it. So understanding that sometimes our food's our fuel. Not an analogy I always use for myself and or even for my clients, it's like I want to fuel a Ferrari. I'm doing the best. I want to put the best fuel into the Ferrari. I'm not doing shit into the Ferrari because I want to be taking that place in mechanical time. And I want to be able to. There's no point having a Ferrari if I'm not putting the right amount of fuel in, or the right fuel.
Big ones for us before we go into this. You should be able to see. I don't think if you need to come closer, Pete, please feel free to come closer. We've got 3 lots of Coles beef mince. Far right, regular mince. Middle, 4-star beef mince. Left, 5-star extra mince. In my 5-star extra mince, I've got 0 grams of carbs. In my medium, I've got 1.5. My top, I've got none. All of these, very, very, very low source of carbs. Cool, tick, don't need to worry about that. Come to my fat. 5-star, 7.5 grams. 4-star, the next level up. I've doubled it, 15 grams of carbs. Next one after that, just under double. Fats. My 3-star mince, 25 grams of fat per 100 grams. That's 500 grams of mince just there. 500 grams of mince, 25 grams of carbs, fats per 100 grams. Fat has how many grams of calories? How many calories in a gram of fat?
130 calories difference per portion size from the 3-star to the 5-star.
Yes, that might be the tiniest bit more expensive. I understand if you've probably got a large family, kids, probably easier to just go to the 3-star. Already, 7.5 grams from my 5-star up to 25 grams.
You're having 200 grams, there's 260 grams, 260 calories just by making that a medium substitute. Is that 5%, 10% straight away?
I'll then go to my protein. In my lean, 31. My 4-star, 32. And in my 3-star, 29. All roughly the same. There's not those 1 or 2 grams isn't really that much of a difference, but very high in protein. My 5-star beets mince, obviously the clearest. 194 calories, 246 calories, 326 calories. Coming across to my milk, I don't drink normal milk. I'll usually drink almond milk. Let's have a look at some of these almond milks here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. My So Good at the top, 9 grams of carbs. My So Good almond milk unsweetened, 0.9 grams of carbs. 9 grams of carbs isn't a hell of a lot. 4 calories per gram. My other one, I've got literally 0. I haven't even got 1 gram of carbs in that. So it might be, this one doesn't taste very good. But in a coffee, if I have 2 coffees a day and I can lower that just a little bit, pretty much same fat, pretty much same protein. Down the bottom, my So Good almond milk vanilla flavor, 12.5 grams of carbs. My Sobreeze, non-flavored, so non-vanilla, 1.8 grams of carbs. They've got the same amount of fat, same amount of protein. By just swapping just my milk, and again, I'm not drinking this much milk. I'm having a large coffee. I'm having 2. I'm having 3 of them in a day.
Even if you want to think about a day, think of it over a week period, think over a month period, think over a 6-week period, think of it over a year period. How many calories that adds up to? You know, that ends up being days of eating of a surplus over a 12-month period. Think about days of you adding your calories up. That you'd be like, I could go through a stage period where I didn't eat just to be able to counteract that. The biggest thing to take out of it, if I looked at an unsweetened almond milk to a full cream, it's 164 to 43. Massive difference. And I'm having just a small coffee. I'm not too fussed about that. I'm drinking the coffee. Don't get me wrong, I do want to enjoy the coffee, but I know that it's going to give me a little bit more energy. That's what I'm more so like that.
That's my highest there. Yep, highest there, 164 calories, as Eli just said. If you like normal milk in your coffee, sweet. That's my Saturday and Sunday coffee. I get 1 a day. That's my Saturday and Sunday. Monday to Friday, 40 grams of calories. I'm having almond milk in that coffee. Just throughout the week. Not trying to get you to miss out. You don't get to miss out on your coffee. You don't have to change anything else. All I've done is swap the milk. Super, super easy. Me and Eli both have the one on the right, barbecue sauce. Normal barbecue sauce, Fountain. It's the like the Colsey brand on this. This does not taste as good as Master Foods. Absolutely not. In my Fountain barbecue sauce, per 100 grams of sauce is nothing. I have sauce on everything. I have sauce on cereal. 55 grams almost of carbohydrates per 100 grams. No fat, no protein. My reduced sugar, 15 grams of carbs. Swap your barbecue sauce.
Even just condiments in general. This is just a highlight condiment there. You can actually pick up, okay, and even brands. Different brands could be the exact same, but you're finding the brand thing is best for you, kind of lower calories, lower in fats, lower in carbohydrates. Just by being able to pick up a label, read a label, understand the label. That's so important, guys. You educate yourself so you don't have this in the rest of your life.
Your first 2, 3, 5 shops might be a little bit shit. You feel like a bit of a weirdo standing there and checking every label, reading every label. But if I can just do that for a few things, I'll check everything, even chocolate. I might be like, cool, this block's 600 calories, this block's 400 calories, cool. I know I like this one a little bit more, still chocolate, sweet.
After a period of time, you walk straight down aisle 9, best one, this brand, that's me, perfect, and straight goes. But it's a process to get to that, all right?
2 quick ones more. Normal pasta, 370 calories, 68 grams of carbs per 100 grams. You're not having 100 grams of pasta. 2.2 grams of fat, 12 grams of fat, almost 13 grams of protein. Come to your high protein, same brand, same company. You've doubled the protein. You've got 25 grams of protein, same fat, and 50 grams of carbs. So you lost 18 grams of carbs just through that. There's even better swaps than that. We'll show you one in a second. Peanut butter, you got your light, bang, same thing. 136 calories, 122. This one's got 3 grams. That one's got 7.8 grams of carbs. Super easy, easy thing to swap. Condiments are a massive part of our diet, especially like your mayonnaise, tomato sauce. They add up very quickly. Next one. We got one more activity. Pills for ask away. Alrighty, let's
Any
handle it.
questions? No questions at all.
Daily calorie allowance.
So my fitness day will do that.
Or if you want to lose weight, then I should drop my. Yeah, I know you've talked about
Working out what your daily analysis. So we want your age, your gender, and your goals. But I see.
I might get you two guys just come over here quickly.
Yeah, okay. So we're using that app to do that.
You just use that just as an example. So we're going 2,000 calories. So you may need 1,500, 250 calories for each 2 different snacks on top of that. And it's going to be dependent on every single person, yes. Gender, age, lifestyle, and